Come on in, everybody. Welcome to Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. I am Monet as horse and visionary and host. Super excited, honored to be here with you all again tonight. Welcome to Sister Talk Power Moves. Tonight, y'all, we have from our a male's perspective tonight. We have a very special guest who is coming on back to us. He is not a stranger to Sister. So we want you to come on in. We pray that your day has been well, that you've had a power packed and productive Monday, that your weekend was well as well, and that you are finding yourself winding down from the day. I don't know about you, but it's so many different hats that we wear throughout the course of the day, every day. And so it's good to be able to take out some time for yourself to what I call self-care. Self-care. My partner, he calls it self-wealth. And so we are excited to have you all here tonight. Go ahead and take a moment to click and share. While I'm clicking and sharing as well, I want you to take a moment to click and share because we believe that sharing is what caring. There's somebody out there tonight who's going to need the nuggets that will be shared. And so we want you could be the conduit, you could be the one, you could be that connector to the information that will literally change someone's trajectory. Their life may be going in a downward spiral, but just because you clicked and shared tonight, um, it can literally change the trajectory of their lives. Hey, it can change yours too. So we are so excited to have you tonight. Woo! Listen, we have been going. Can you believe it's already May? Halfway through the month of May, and it feels like it's been nonstop. And so when time is going, the question is, what movement are you making? What
Mhm.
intentional moves are you making? Are you flowing with it or are you stuck? Are you stopping? Are you starting and stopping? Like, locate yourself tonight. Where are you? And so, as you're tuning in tonight, we have a treat. And I'm going to just share. We're going to be talking about, and of course, we flow here. We fearlessly level up, overcome, and win. But tonight, we're talking about cultivating the vision, building the brand, cultivating the vision, and building the brand. We have none other than Dr. Eric L. Holmes here with us again for this powerful conversation. He is a trailblazer. He is the visionary and the host of now the fifth year annual Power of the Pen Authors Expo. He is a best-selling author of probably close to almost 15, over 15 books, and more coming now. He is an international speaker. He's a man of God. He is a well-educated man, but he's also a man who was connected with his community and connected with the people, always helping to connect individuals and support individuals. And of course, he is my big brother. Dr. E, welcome to Sister Talk Power Moves. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Listen, I'm grateful to be here once again to this amazing platform with my little sister, y'all. I call her Momo. She wears so many hats, y'all. When I tell you, I'm grateful because a lot of the stuff you see, she has been there and been behind the scenes, but the organizer of it. And so, as my mom would always say, never forget those that helped you along the journey or the bridge that brought you over because you may have to go back and cross it. So, I am grateful
Mm,
to be here. This has been an amazing platform. I remember the vision when God gave it to her and she executed. That's one of the things we always talk about,
mhm.
executing the power moves. But I am grateful to be here, just a dialogue. As she said, we just flow and move, y'all. We flow and move with God. Nothing scripted. We flow and move because we are authentic and we want you to really get the essence of the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And um, y'all, this is going to be powerful tonight. And we talk about when power and wealth collide. We've talked about that. My book is From Reality, my first book, From Reality to a Wealthy Place, and of course yours. The power of the seed, you have the power of the pen. Um, and so something always happens. We can always anticipate an explosion, an implosion, a shift, pivot when we connect. And so again, excited to have you tonight. Listen, I know that you've been traveling, you've been doing so many things. And of course, tonight, before we want you to share about the amazing experiences happening at the end of this week. But just before we get there, here at Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves, we like to talk about the story behind the glory, the story behind the doctor that they see in front of Eric L. Holmes, the story behind the best-selling author, the story behind the international speaker, the story behind the international coach, the story behind the healthcare trailblazer, just doing his thing. And so, who is, in your own words, how would you sum up who you are?
Wow. I would always, for where I am right now, um, just a young man from a family of eight, five brothers, two sisters, born and raised in Harrisburg, PA, growing up, a family of love, knowing God, and, going to school, college, but working, but
Mm-hmm.
a foundation of family, a foundation of coming from love, family, God, and that whole perspective of coming into who you are because of
Mm-hmm.
family, because of what was imparted, and because of what was instilled in me. And so, just is now as I've come into the fullness, that servant of God. And so truly just an individual who said at this point said yes to God and now is truly a
Mm-hmm.
servant of God. And so that was sum it up all the way up until here, but to come into that true relationship with God, prior to all of that, now knowing really who I am in him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good because a lot of times people get up and they talk over, people's heads and they don't really relate and connect. They start from where they are and not go back. It's not that you're living in the past, but the past plays a part. It's a part of our story. And so we get individuals who are on the whole spectrum here. And so it's good to know that, hey, if I'm not where you are now, that I can get there. And
Mhm.
so knowing that you have shared your family history and it's not only you, you have siblings and you all are well connected and all of those things. Um what place, we know where you are right now, but at what point in your life did the shift happen, the shift in the pivot happen that I'm gonna say I'm gonna lock in with God. I'm gonna lock into the vision. I'm gonna lock because tonight we're talking about cultivating the vision. But before you can cultivate and cultivate out there tonight means to develop. It means to nurture, right? You can look it up. Do your Google search. It means to cultivate, and cultivate means to develop and to nurture, um, and to develop. And so before you can get there, you have to be given the vision. You have to lock in with it before you can grow something. And so what was that aha moment for you in your life that you made that shift to say, yes, I've done this, I've done that, but now this is where I need to be?
I think it was because, like I always tell people, it's already in you. And so you just really have to be able to tap into it, define it, to be able to walk into it and fulfill it. And so because
Mm-hmm.
it was already in there, even when I'll say like even in first grade, like
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur and speaking and all of that, it was already there. But the as you grow, as you mature, and I remember when I gave my no, it was when I got baptized. Me and my nephew, we got baptized. So it was at Tabernacle Baptist Church. My grandfather was the pastor. But then
Mm-hmm.
when I joined my mother's church, Mount Sinai and me, who really was like, the old school prayer warriors, like literally.
Yeah.
It was that moment when I, gave my life to Christ. It actually was on my mom's birthday, October the 12th. And then a
Wow.
shift started taking place there, but still not the fullness
Mm-hmm.
of the relationship with God
Mm.
and knowing really what I was to do. You were doing it, as my first lady, Dr. Pender, would say. She was like, do it all. God will show you along the way. But it
Yeah.
comes with the maturity and it comes with the timing and season. And so,
Mm.
because still in all, I was still, still throwing parties. I was
Mm-hmm.
still, working, school, all of that, but not fully, though committed
Mm-hmm.
to church, auxiliaries, the choir, like I'm never missed Sundays or, committed, but still a part of the world. You know how it is. And they
Yeah,
say,
I
you
got you.
know,
Yeah, got
you
you.
in the world, because I was still, throwing the
One
best
foot was
party.
in, one foot was maybe out, maybe,
Yeah.
and you were
But
still, but you were
always,
still committed.
that right. But because I was still throwing the best parties in PA, and I think the pivot really took place when I moved to Baltimore. When praying about moving, didn't know it was going to be Baltimore, came down and moved to Wellington Gate. Not a job, and at that time, me and my godbrother moved to Maryland. However, it started from there where things started shifting. You really started learning, you still started growing and maturing. And at that point, I remember starting at Hopkins through interest staff. But it
Mm,
after leaving there, but then later on coming back, now here I am
yeah.
29 years later. Wow. And when I
Wow.
joined, went to a couple churches, but when I joined
Hmm.
the Bethel Temple Church, wow, now it's 32 years. So
Wow.
things started shifting and pivoting, even with going through classes and working at Hopkins and different things and schooling, and now really coming to the fullness of what he was having for me to do. And even with the
Hmm.
speaking and going through the Cary Business School and public speaking, all of that, and different things, and then ending up in GSU that really took it to another level. And so God was already, things were already starting to pivot and
Being
shift,
orchestrated.
but it
Yeah.
was in the mindset that you have to shift
Mm.
it, because a lot of time we want things, but it starts in the mind. It's a mind
Yeah.
thing, because that's why I keep on these boards all around me, vision board, goal boards, the whiteboard. I look at it from another perspective, but it's a mind. If I don't shift my mind, if I don't shift the perspective, if I don't shift the position, then I'm still where I am, because nothing to get done. Or as you say, if I don't execute it, if I don't put some power or put it into action, nothing's going to happen. And so when you begin to shift your mind and even letting things go, and people, places, and things, even if they don't understand, it's because it's another calling, it's another pull, it's another tugging, it's something that's in you that's being birthed out of you. So
Hmm.
something's got to go in
Whoa.
order for you to
Whoa, whoa,
move
whoa, whoa.
forward.
Listen, are y'all getting the nuggets that's being dropped tonight? Okay. So you said something. You said the pivot took place when I moved.
Mm-hmm.
The pivot, let me say it for the people in the background. The pivot, the shift, it took place when I moved. And of course, you physically moved out of, is it safe to say, what was normal, what was a comfort zone? Because you had your family and PA, you had all of these things, people that you knew, right? Connections. And
Yes.
but you moved your locale, you moved to Baltimore. But I want to underscore this tonight because there's somebody who is waiting for a shift. They're waiting for something different, but it doesn't happen until you move. You might not be moving, physically moving your location to another city or state or country, right? Or borders, whatever. But you have to move in your action, in your movement, building momentum, doing other things, the mindset. And so take that nugget, write it down, and let it marinate because it's a call to make a move tonight. And
Mm-hmm.
not just any type of move, but you know what we say, it's a power move. And then Dr. E had a nerve to put the cherry on the top saying that that is your mindset. Because he could have said, I'm gonna move physically, but his mind was still bound to hold on to everything that he left. So, Dr. E, talk to us a little bit more about this mindset shift. Like when you actually moved here, there were literal things that you had to let go of, and people, like you said, places and things and mindsets.
Yeah, and so because when I talk about the mindset and everything, it's in the mind, or when we talk about there's a book called The Battlefield of the Mind. Everything
Mm-hmm.
starts in the mind. Then it filters down through the heart, filters through your spirit, filters out.
Mm-hmm.
However, what are we in our mind? What are we perceiving in our mind? And so even with knowing that I moved from where I was born and raised, moving to a whole nother city, there's a difference. There's comfort, or I mean, I have plenty of family there, people I grew up with, people I went to school with. So now I'm moving, as it said, or as God told Abraham, get thee out of the land. He went
Land,
to another
yeah.
country, but he said, I'm gonna show you as you go. And that's exactly he was showing me as I was going. I didn't know it,
Yeah.
or what he was taking me to. But so the thing was, you let go of what is comfortable to be stretched into something of where you're going. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, even if I go back from the agriculture of the farmer, there's a
Mm-hmm.
field, but he starts with all of getting things together and toiling in and turning over and all of that he has to do. But at the end of it is what he's expecting, which is a harvest.
Mm.
But because he got his mind already, listen, I see from the beginning, but yet I see the end. But what
Mm.
happens is with that, I got to deal with the middle of the process, because I'll never get to the end of it if I never deal with the middle. And so I had to shift into where I was going, not where I was locked into where I was.
Yeah.
So I shifted my mind. I moved to where I was going. I saw, or I love that. I would love my first lady every time Dr. Prince said, I see myself in the future and things look so much better. Oh my God, than they do right now. But you got to see it, you got to believe it, and then you got to attach your faith to it.
Ooh. See it, believe it, and attach your faith to it. So you have to see it before you see it.
You got to see it before you see it, and then recognize it when it comes. So all of this now that's happening, I've seen it, but I recognize it now that it's here.
How many times do we pray for things and when it comes, it's like you don't recognize or you let it go over your head? It's like, no, you prayed for it. But you're not putting the expectation on
Mm-hmm.
what you prayed for. And I think even myself, I had to be so more in tune to realize that, wait a minute, baby girl, you're living in the prayers. The word says the fervent prayers, right? Avail of much. And so, and the prayers of the righteous avail of much. And so, if you know that you're a child of God and you're praying according to his will, because he said he puts his will in us, right? And so as we align with him, and so if that is the case, then we should definitely always have an expectation. But some people are praying and they're tooling in the praying, but they leave the expectation folded in the
You
prayer.
have to really believe it. Like Sunday, Pastor Herb said, you got to press It's like the woman, and I love it. She pressed to that miracle, but she
Yeah.
believed if she just got to the hem, if she just got to that tassel, she just got to the thread of it, but she believed
Mm,
it.
mm,
Excuse me. And
mm-hmm,
that's what made not just being healed, but whole.
mm.
I don't, I didn't believe when God gave me the vision for the power of the pen.
Yeah, talk about it.
I would never see this fifth year.
Mm.
But it started in not even an asking, and I know I may be jumping ahead, asking for an event. I was asking for a miracle for someone who needed a miracle.
Wow.
Sitting right here,
Yeah.
still having the notes, everything from 5 years ago.
Mm.
And so what it was that when he spoke it, after sitting here, getting off, and I'm like, the power of the pen, I'm in tears, I'm in sweat, I'm wrapped in the prayer shawl, sitting right here where I am sitting right now. I wrote it and I began to execute it. I began to move in faith of what he said. I wrote it. That's why when I begin to talk about how the power of the pen, the power of the seed, it's power in it. But if
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but if I don't execute it, if, like I
Mm.
always say, people, you've got to put your faith to action. You got to put your faith to work, but you got to work while you wait on a manifestation of whatever it is
Listen.
that you're waiting on God
Mhm.
to do. I begin to put it to work
Yeah.
clearly from everybody he gave me, the vendors, all like this whole thing. I can just open right here. Like, wow,
Mhm.
looking at this from 5 years ago in a pandemic.
And the yeah. So when you get a God given a divine vision, you have to submit it back to him and trust that he's going to give you the resources, the instructions, the instructions guide you to every, I mean, when I say every intricate detail. And so tonight, look, you already jumped right on in as we're talking about the vision and how to cultivate it. First, how to cultivate it is you surrender it back. It's, but you gotta obey, be obedient to the instruction, right?
That's key.
When and Dr. E is telling us the formula tonight, literally. He said that, hey, first of all, I wasn't even looking to create anything. I was looking for a miracle. The seed was the prayer and caring for somebody else. And then in the midst of that, God gave me a vision. Look, we sowing tears and prayers for somebody else, then he exchanges it. He makes the exchange with us and give us a vision. And see, what we don't realize is that sometimes we're looking for the actual manifestation of the finances, but the vision is the seed to the wealth. If you follow it through, right? And that's cultivating, and you plant it, you obey it, obedient every step of the way. Because one thing that as a visionary that I've learned, and you let me know, how this has been for you, is that every time I take heed and obey every step and don't go on my own tangent, God provides the resources, the people, the speakers, the whatever you need, the venue, the decor from start to finish, volunteers. And so when he gives you something, he already is providing for it. It's not up to your resources. He's going to make a way. How has that been for you, Dr. E?
It has been, and I'm glad you said that because he said to me, if you follow, I gotta take my glass off for this because I feel it. He said, if you follow the plan and instructions,
Mm-hmm.
It will always end in victory. No matter what happens in the middle of the process, it will always end in victory. I prayed for this year for a sold out event. I literally had
Mm-hmm.
to stop and shut it down because
Mm.
of the abundance and the overflow.
Come on.
But the execution and praying even to this venue. But you said something key. He's going to provide. I didn't base it off of people buying tickets. I based it off of faith and obeying and where he told me to go and
It
what
was
to
already
do
done.
from
Mm.
this venue. But and I tell people this all the time, never get something that you cannot afford. Never
Mm-hmm.
get something is that you base it on a sale, because good intentions may be good. They're not always good enough.
Come
You
on.
know, people can come or say they can, things happen, life, situation, circumstances.
All the time. Yeah.
But I say this, that he has provided. And even when I said, wow, I had to look at it again. Like when I did a walkthrough, I said, wow. But when I went there for that 70th birthday party, he said, this is the place.
Yeah.
Now I went to celebrate Dr. Dayton's birthday celebration.
Yet again. Mm-hmm.
Yet again. And he said, this is the place. Each place has been where everyone that
You've
plays, the venue
orchestrated.
has played an intricate part.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, to knowing that I get here to this 5th year and it's at the Delta Hotel.
Mm.
From every venue, from year 1 at the play, and from year 2, 248 Create, from year 3, back at the Palladium, year 4, the Leonard E. Hicks Community Center. And now here we are at the Delta Hotel by Marriott, the Village of Cross Keys. But here's the blessing of it. Each one of those played a part to get me to the 5th year. Each one of them was a vital part of the journey to get me here. And now he gives us a whole ballroom. The whole
Mm.
entire 2nd floor gives us the ballroom. And then when I prayed, Lord, and I did, because I know it's supposed to rain. I said, no, give us a beautiful day. I made my request known, made my petition. But here's the thing. It's amazing because not only I have the entire 2nd floor, I have the ballroom, but then he gave me an abundance where I even had to shut it down.
Mm.
And I said, wow, if you follow the plan, and I always got to go back to that. If you follow the plan and instruction, it will always end in victory. People that I met sailing to the Mexican Riviera were all being a part of support that it
Yeah.
was people that I had just met for the first time. But God will, or as Dr. Sherrill would say, it's going to come from where you didn't sow.
Woo!
And the thing about that is, it was so many people. I was helping people. One of the ladies I helped in the airport, I didn't even know they was a speaker. They had bought tickets. I didn't even know. And so you see, you plant,
Yeah.
you sow, just like this whole thing. But the whole thing of this essence was, we watch God do the miracle, and the individual is still here to tell the story.
Wow.
Still here. So and I always give that and tell people is that this is not just about, and first of all, it's an epic experience that will be unforgettable, but it is about showing you and you allowing to know that he's
Mm-hmm.
still working miracles. Because sitting right here, when I say they needed a miracle that only God could do, and knowing that we had prayed every Monday, 9 of us, 9
Mm.
p.m. And here it is, God worked the miracle. And as the late Apostle Evans would say, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. And then my Bishop Penny said, when we learn to celebrate what God is doing for others until your turn comes. But when I know every time I message them or call them or talk, and knowing that they still here, because
Mm.
of prayer, here because God worked the miracle, and still here because he's still the bomb in Gilead, still here because he's Jehovah
Yeah.
Rapha, still here because healing is the children's bread. And so every time I think about it, that's why I
Yeah.
just get so emotional, because guess what? It's the power move in faith, the power move of believing, the power move of cultivating my faith to knowing that I'm believing God for somebody else's miracle and standing on it and trusting him to do it.
Mm. So when he's so because you said the power move of cultivating your own faith. So it's not only that he gives you the vision, but in the process, he's cultivating you. He's cultivating me. He's cultivating us. It's not only the outcome of the like you said, the victory is already it's settled if we follow the course that's before us. But we have to be willing, see it before you see it, but be willing to embrace the process of it all. The middle, the middle. Somebody tonight is in their middle. They see the due season, as brother will say, on the horizon. They feel the pull, the tug. The shift is here, is coming. But you is a little, maybe a little blurry. Your vision, you're trying to hold on, and maybe a little blurry. But tonight we came to encourage you to continue to stay the course and cultivate the vision, because as the vision is being cultivated, you are being cultivated. You're being developed. You're being you have to be nurtured yourself. Because what comes to my mind is you're going to have times. We're talking about, yes, we're cultivating. Yeah, we got it. We're embracing the process. But Dr. E, has it ever been a time where you have been like, all right, Lord, okay, I know you gave me this. It's looking a little blurry. Are we doing this year? What we doing? Have you had those times?
Yeah,
When it became
absolutely.
challenging, you know.
And here it is, because to y'all, Mo is actually the organizer of my last 4 books. Each one of those represented a season that I had to experience and go through in order for it to cultivate, in order for it to manifest. And when we talk about my next season is due season, that you had to go through it in order to get to it. And so the planning, the scene, the preparation, the process in that season was challenging. However, in order for me to talk about it, in order for me it to manifest, in order for me to share it and to know and to speak about it, I had to go through it. Even the last one, which was the one, the power of the seed, the 30-day guided journal, which is in cultivating in companionship with the first one, which was done now 11 years ago. And when we released this, it was a 10-year span. But when he said there's a 10-year release, wow. It was 10 years for my mom that transitioned. It was in the 10th month, my sister's birthday, my niece's birthday. She was born on hers, but both of them passed. So this 10-year, but then a 10-city book tour, which I still have to do several more of them. However, it was in that release, but it was in that I had to experience and to take this one to another level than when I released the first one. And so even though it's companion, this one takes it to another level, another dimension, but the breakdown, it takes it another step further, but even to minister to me of what he gave me when I wrote it. When he gave me that vision, literally 11 years ago at 5 in the morning on a Saturday morning, when I asked to be a blessing to my bishop, my first lady, to ministry, to kingdom, and asked for a project, he said, put it in a book. When I looked at the tree in the yard, put it in the book, The Power of the Seed. I wrote it. I still have the design. 11 years later, I still have the manuscript, but I went and put it into action. I did that power move. I didn't miss that Kairos moment, but who would know? 10 years later, he gives me the companion to the first one to take it to another level. So I had to cultivate, one of my t-shirt lines says work, vision, and build the brand. You've got to work and build and work. You've got to put in the work. You've got to do the work. And that's why I'll tell people, that's why you got to put your faith to work, put your faith to action, but you sure got to work while you wait on the manifestation. You've got to do the work. And you got to put in the work. What it say, faith without works is dead. You've got to do the work. But here's the thing. I had to experience every one of those books in whatever season I was in order to talk about it, to speak about it, to share it on my radio show, when I was on the cruise, international, but to share it, I could not share any had I not gone through it. And so that's the middle of the process where we got to be processed. In the middle of it, you got to deal with the farmer he will never see a harvest if he don't deal with the middle of the process. Because now when he's in the middle, after he's done all the toiling, the preparation, the process, the seeding, the sowing, the planting, then it comes to the watering, nurturing, the harvest. Then the seed germinates through the underground process to get to the set time and season to produce a harvest. But here's the thing. It may not even be the first year, but he's cultivating what he's looking for. He's cultivating what he knows that he's in expectation of, and it's of the harvest. Listen. He sees it before he sees it. He recognizes it. And then so when he starts to see it come up and he's looking, now I'm in my middle of the process, but yet my harvest is right here. And it's a full harvest because I see that I sowed, I planted, I watered, I nurtured, but I put in the work. I cultivated, I turned the dirt. I put in the work to knowing that this seed was germinating. I cultivate and I put in the work. He did a whole power move. If this talk about the power move, talk about cultivate, he did all of that. And so whatever assignment he's given, whatever vision he's given, right on here, I said, do not let the vision or the dreams die. Don't allow others to cause them to die, not even yourself. That's why I keep all of this, my whiteboard, my goal board, my vision board, my prayer board, because I keep it before me, because I got to go back sometimes myself and reference it. I keep this journal. I go back here, everything, even when I gave you my new book, I literally wrote it in here. And I wrote it. You know when I wrote it? I wrote it through a storm when we had the tornado several years ago. All the lights went out and everything. I sat right here and wrote it. And so God, you cannot, it doesn't matter how long you've been waiting. Just keep putting in the work, keep doing the work. And just like for this event, here's the challenging thing. I was like, okay, these tickets are not moving, right? But here's the other part. I planned last year and I started working last year. And I said to Dr. Short, I said, pray, plan, and prepare. Because guess what? If I got to shift, pivot, and move forward, most of all that stuff was already done. So even with the tickets, I wasn't solely waiting and just saying, oh my God, if they don't, and I done signed all these contracts, make sure you read the bottom line and the fine print. And guess what? I was still good because I had prayed, I planned, I prepared, but I followed the plan and instructions that he gave me because it will always end in victory, no matter what happens in me. And then what happens? Prayer, as my bishop preached 2 Sundays ago, committed to prayer and consistency, just like when Hannah, consistency and committed. But guess what? The thing was, now it sent me into overflow where I had to stop it.
Won't he shift that thing around?
And so all of the glory. And so the thing about it is, keep building, keep working the vision, keep cultivating it, keep putting in the work, keep doing. It doesn't matter how long. One of the other books Mo did, y'all, like she did my last 4 projects. So listen, y'all, I'm tying all of this in because of the power move that she does, the vision for she sees further than even what I saw. But here's the thing: when we talk about how to handle patience and endurance, and I say on that book, the thing about it is that it's not how fast we run; it's that you endure. The turtle and the rabbit. I put that illustration into the books. It wasn't how fast he was going. He just kept on going. It wasn't how he started, but how he finished. So listen, you can start out slow, but finish strong. You can continue and finish, because at the end of it all, we want to hear him say, well done. And so that's what we want to hear. But he kept going. He did not get distracted. And I'm telling you, people, do not get distracted by somebody that started out ahead of you. Do not get distracted because somebody's faster. He tells us in the word that the race is not given to the swift nor the battle to the strong. It's about the endurance. And so whether they started out ahead of you, do you know when you look at people running races, most of them get tired because they start out so fast, they start out so strong. Here, this other one just pacing themselves. They pacing, and next thing you know, they coming around that bend and cross the finish line. That's just what that turtle did. He kept right on going. He didn't get distracted. And so I used this illustration and this animation that when the rabbit took a break and laughed at the turtle because he was moving slow, but not knowing that turtle just kept on going because he had the perspective in his mind. He had the finish line in view. And what did he do? He crossed the finish line. He was cultivating what he knew to get to the finish line. And so guess what? Don't get distracted in the season. I don't care who started out ahead of me. Guess what? Whatever vision he gave you, whatever dream he gave you, you've got to work it. You've got to build it. You got to put in the work, put it to action. You've got to do that. Like we talked about tonight, that power move. You've got to, it's a call to action. Because if you don't do it, it's not going to get done.
Oh, listen to me. I'm just going. I said, bro, you have said so much. And I hope you all are picking up what he is definitely putting down tonight. Um, you said that it doesn't matter how long, it takes you, and basically in my own words, don't compare yourself with other people, because what you see, you don't know how they got it. You don't. It's okay to admire, but some people desire, and they really dwell on what someone else has. And so no, focus on your own race. And the question is, are you in the race at all, or are you just on the sidelines looking in? As long as you're in the race and you're pacing yourself, because some people can look like they're extending all of their energy and they just throwing it all out. Like you said, they starting fast. But before you know it, they have lost all energy, and then they flatline. And so with that, you want to make sure that you are in the race and that you begin to find your own rhythm and find your own pace. Now, y'all, we've talked about this cultivating the vision. Listen, and then you've already talked about building the brand. But I want to dare to say, bro, that the brand, before people they think about the brand of their business, the brand of, I say the brand is you. What is the brand of you, the individual? What is your personal brand? Cultivating and building up yourself. That's important in this process. Your cultivation, your development. And so before you get to your business, before you're building your ministry, what are you building in yourself? Your mannerisms, what principles are you living by? Are you living by the word? What are your core values? What is your purpose? You have a purpose statement. A lot of us, you work for individuals, you work for organizations. When you go to orientation, the first thing you learn? Their core values, their mission statement, what is the vision for the organization? But how can you work for an individual or organization and you know their vision, but dare not have one for yourself?
That's so powerful and important because even for your business, your brand, like you said, most people, now I've been at Hopkins 29 years. Most people don't know the core values, and they used to have it along the wall and people still didn't know it. You said in orientation. Not only that, if they was to say, what is the vision? What is your vision or mission statement? Like my bishop will sometimes ask, what is the vision and mission statement of the church? And even though it used to be printed in the bulletin, and for a lot of people, they don't know it. However, what is it? You are your brand. Like I tell people, you are your brand. When you show up, what does it say? You got to know, even if you have a business, what is your mission statement? What is your vision? You've got to have that. And because if somebody asks you and you don't know it, well, right there, do you think they would really want to support that? Or if you don't even know it, But like you said, what values do you have? Your integrity, your character, your credibility. Because when you show up, oh, that'll show up before you. Especially, a matter of fact, I was supposed to be doing a speaking engagement, and a lady had Googled me and said, well, I know they preach and different things, but this is that kind of event, da 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 da. And the individual said, no, they know how to do all of that. You know what I mean? But they had Googled me. They Googled me.
Oh, yeah.
And so what is it when they see that? Or what does it speak to them? What are they saying? What are you saying? What your integrity, your character, your credibility? What does it say when you're not in a room or just when no one else is around? And so it's so important. And that's why I live by Proverbs 22:1, one of my favorite. I'd rather have a good name than great riches. Because if you seek ye first the kingdom, all of that's going to come. But however, your integrity, your character, your credibility, like the late Apostle Evan said, it will take you a long way in life. I know most people know I work out right. But of course, knowing so many people, but I'm in the orientation video. They didn't just put me there because they didn't have nobody else to put in there. Integrity, character, but also too, you're representing that company, their brand, their mission statement, their core values. Are you upholding them? But it's for I write on here, rewrite it, look at it. What is it for this coaching program I'm going to relaunch? You know what I mean? What is it? I can look right here. I have it. Revamped it. What is the mission statement? What are the core values? What is it about? And people will ask you, but if you don't know it.
Yeah. Are you living out your brand? Do you know who you are? If someone was to come to you just out of the blue and ask you, these questions, it's not, I was talking to someone the other day, might have been just yesterday, and they were saying how, if someone asks you the question, who are you? A lot of people will just say their titles. I am an entrepreneur. I am a coach. I am this. No, but is that's a title that you carry, that you hold, but is that really the essence of who you are? How are you connecting with the individuals that are around you? So all of that matters. It's not only the titles, but who are you in your purest and at the foundation, at the core of you, in the core of your existence and your being. And so those things are important, I believe, when we're talking about cultivating the vision and building the brand. I know when God gave me a vision and I was at an event and it was in submitting and being willing to support somebody else's vision that I ended up finding my own. I ended
That's
up
how it
finding,
happens.
yeah.
And that's key right there, because again, I go back to 5 years. Wow, the power of the pen. It was sitting here praying for somebody who needed a miracle. I wasn't asking
Yeah.
that I didn't have nothing to do an event. I was in the midst of still getting ready to release a book and
Yeah.
another book and co-author another book.
Yeah.
But it was in praying that he gives me and here we are
Give you
now,
your
which
own.
I did. And just the other day said, this is going to be a movement. And I'm like, wow, but here it
It is a
is,
movement, yeah.
following and obeying. And not only that, but believing God for somebody else, praying for somebody else, interceding for somebody else. And here it is. He gives me this. And now here we are 5 years. And I said this on an interview with Brian Oates, that, wow, in these 5 years to be able to honor almost 130 people.
Yeah.
Not only that, but to be able to bring people together, culture and community, which is part of the power of the pen. It's about culture and community. It is about bringing people together, not just authors, not just entrepreneurs, but people in general, bringing them together.
together.
And to knowing that iron does sharpen iron. We are our brothers and sisters keeper, knowing that you can dream, knowing that you can have vision. And so when we're cultivating all of this, it still goes back, who are you? And I love that you asked that, because I didn't name none of them titles. Because that what's on, like one of my bishop once said this before, what's my name on my driver's license? It don't have no titles. It has your name. Now, those are something that you've been, but no, that's why I had to go back. No, growing up, family, all, that's who we are. All these other things we earned, we went to school and all of that. However, on your birth certificate, none of that stuff is on there but your name, your date of birth, the time you was born, and parents' names and all of that. So,
You're right.
When people start doing that, saying who they actually are. And a lot of times when people are asked that question, they start off with all these titles. They start off with all these titles, even when people are introducing. And that's a lot of times I like when people read bios, instead of, when they ask, well, who are they?
Because because we can get lost in the accolades, and all of these things, accomplishments, and
I'll just tell them I went to school and finished, and that's exactly what that means.
right.
Yeah, we honored it. We went, yeah, because when people do that, and I said, as many, all these degrees and all these, all it means that you finish, you accomplish something. But
that's exactly what I believe.
And go through and finish it. And so that's also a part of the cultivate. I had to finish it, and so that's so powerful. When people can really say, well, who they actually are. Just like on that, what is the Shark Tank, when they say, well, what is your brand and what is your business, and trying to offer them this. And that gentleman the other day said, he said, oh no, this is XYZ. When he broke that down, well, I can't sell this to y'all, because this is what this brand is. When I say that young man broke that down too, they all was in amaze that he didn't accept the offer that they was offering. His value. But he also knew what he had.
That's what I'm saying. He knew what he had in his hand. Do you know what's in your hand?
But then he said that to Moses, use what's in your hand.
Are you selling yourself cheap, or are you selling yourself short by not daring to step out of your comfort zone, by not daring to embrace the middle stage of the process?
And you've got to. But look at this, Mo. I go back to this. I called you to volunteer for a conference for Dr. Shure. Now then we both have been in GSU for the last couple years, but all for helping somebody else, supporting somebody like you said.
Get lost. Listen, people trying to figure out what the next step is. Get lost in serving and helping and sowing a seed for somebody else. Be willing to sacrifice that every stage, because you said something earlier. And as we're wrapping up, because I want you to talk about what's you already kind of talked about it, but what's happening this weekend. But you said something when you said that your books everyone represents a different season in your life. And I think people are waiting. You didn't wait till you got totally outside and left out of the season until you birthed it. You release the book or shared what God had given you. And so I feel like some of us think that, oh, I got to get all the way through it. Now, sometimes it's not a place to share, but once you got to a place that it's like, okay, he's giving me these nuggets, now I can share it. They become a bridge. And one of your books, you want a bridge.
On a bridge.
Like, they literally become either a track, like your books, or become a bridge to the next place. They give us access to the next. But if we don't honor our now, we can't get to the next. And the next after that, the thing that we see before we see it. See, the beauty of it is that he gives us a glimpse to it's supposed to let us know and encourage us that, Listen, it's not far, but you have to endure the process of it.
Mhm.
Whether you're on the track of life, on the bridge of life, you floating in the water, feel like you need a life jacket, or you feel like you're at the bottom of the mountain and you gotta climb up. Now we ain't doing all that what we used to do. I'm doing my best to make it. No, we it's time to lean in and execute. You know what to do, but if you don't know it, if you don't feel as though you're in a place where you kind of see it a little bit more clearly, then maybe your next move is to sacrifice and sow the seed, right? That will be that seed into whatever your next is of service. Be a seed of service to somebody else who's already cultivating their vision. And I promise you, in that process, yours will begin, you'll identify it and begin to bloom.
Mhm.
Look, Dr. E, this has encouraged me tonight. So as we're marinating on that tonight, um, we know that this weekend you're heading to your 5th year celebrating the power of the pen authors expo. Wait a minute, y'all. The Dinner and Jazz Gala experience. The gold and listen, the orange and the gold, the red and gold, the carpet, the interviews, all of these things. So tell us a little bit of what's going to happen in the room this year. We already know the tickets are like sold out. If y'all missed this one, like okay, but then you're gonna have to save the date for the next year. So go ahead, Dr. E, take this time to share what's happening. What does it
Wow.
really mean for your vision that you've cultivated and you're literally building? Because the building is not over because you're still tracking and being obedient. And
Mm.
then share with us how we can stay connected and even sow a seed into your ministry as well.
Wow. Listen, y'all. Without, because I already feel the emotions. Because when you trust God, you move in faith and you execute the vision that He's given. We cultivate it, but the mere fact that this Saturday, this 5th year, this 5th month, this number of grace, as they say, the month of miracles, anytime He does a miracle, whatever day, month, whenever He does it, is good with me. But to know that He entrusted me to execute this vision that was given and birthed in me, but He entrusted me to execute it. So here we are this Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, from 6 p.m. to 10 at the Delta Hotel by Marriott, the Village of Cross Keys. There's Black Tie Dinner and Jazz Gala. The gold carpet, the black carpet, media. When I tell you, it's an experience that will be unforgettable because we have reached a milestone when you're on jobs, relationship, when you get to the 5th mark, the 5th year, it's an investment. So we have invested, and here we are at the 5th year mark, that now we have cultivated the ground. We have cultivated the vision. We have cultivated this call to action. We have cultivated this power move. And now we've cultivated something that has now is going to be a movement. And so when you come with an expectation, because not only that, the power of networking, the power of collaboration, the power of divine connections, and to come in here and experience this power of the pen, this coming together, culture and community, from the gold carpet to the black carpet, to the radio interviews, to this phenomenal menu that's laid out for you. V's, listen, y'all, V's tastefully exquisite cuisine. Listen, y'all, but the jazz artists, we got special awards presentations, but all of this was birthed out of a vision, praying for an individual who now has received the miracle, and they're still here. So this whole thing of this miracle, but the vision He entrusted me to execute, I'm grateful because of obeying and moving in faith, but yet and still putting in the work. So you're coming for an epic experience that will be unforgettable. So come with an expectation. And the theme of it is, thank you to my little sis who took it to another level for me. I'm telling y'all, when I open this business, when this wealth comes, this is going to be my ministry. Because when I tell you, you need somebody that can take the vision that that been given to you, but to entrust somebody else to take it to another level that sees more than you, but has the vision at heart. And so I am grateful because we're coming for this whole experience that will be unforgettable, but the whole essence of it to knowing that God is still working miracles. And so I want you to come. The theme is shifting to expectation. The time is now. Time waits for nobody. We don't have time to waste. And the way people are leaving here, that's another thing. I'm grateful to be able to honor people now that are still here. Because in the words of my late godmother, Pastor Sandy Johnson, she would say, what's left unsaid is still unsaid. They can't hear. So I get a chance to honor those who have done work in kingdom, community, and in the world. And so you can reach me on all platforms. Listen, it's so crazy, Mo. He's already given me a theme and everything for 2027. I got to share it with you. Wow, literally. And we're trying to get to 2026, right? But that's how God does. But I've already got the theme and everything. So save the date, y'all, which is May 22nd, 2027. But here's the thing. Keep building, y'all. Keep working the vision, building the brand. But whatever you do, let your faith move God. Let your faith be put into action. Let your faith shift and move you to whatever you needed to do. But again, definitely all of the platforms, y'all, IG, The Power of the Seed, Facebook, Eric Holmes, Twitter, Dr. Eric Holmes, Instagram. You can be on LinkedIn, Dr. Eric Holmes. I'm telling you, TikTok, Dr. Eric Holmes. So listen, if you want to I know it's sold out. Even if you want to be a sponsor, we're going to mention you on all of our platforms. You can just do that too. So I just happen to it's a sold out event, y'all. And here's the beauty of it. That was one of my prayers. Not just because this is not a money making thing, y'all. One, you've invested more than you sometimes get back. However, it's about executing what God has given you to do and the obedience and the faith. And that what makes it more the greater because he said, if you follow the plan and instructions, it will always end in victory. So listen, no matter what happens in the middle of the process, if you follow the plan and instructions, it will always end in victory. So Mo, thank you for this amazing, amazing platform. Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. There's cultivating the vision and cultivating our brain and cultivating this power move, but the call to action. What are you going to do with the call to action? Are you going to move? Are you going to execute? Are you going to move in faith, move in power? What are you going to do? Because if you do nothing, nothing's going to happen. The woman, I love that text. And that was my initial sermon 26 years ago, dealing with that. But if she did not have faith enough to believe it, nothing would have happened. But it was because of her faith that not only was she healed, she was made whole. Her faith moved God. Let your faith move God in this season. I'm telling you, put your faith to work and put your faith to action, but knowing that there's a call to action and how are you going to respond?
Woo! Listen, everybody, we dropped the mic right there. It is my prayer, my sincere hope, my sincere prayer tonight is that you are somebody out there who was live and is live, and someone out there who's going to listen to the replay that you can glean some nugget, something from this power packed conversation tonight that will shift your life to a place that you would have never hoped, you would have never imagined unless you listen to this power move conversation, the male's perspective. Listen, it is time for you to cultivate the vision and build the brand that God has given you. And as Dr. E says, let's keep writing, let's keep talking. And I'm going to add, let's keep building. Y'all, this has been a power packed evening. Dr. E, thank you for your surrender. Thank you for your yes. Thank you keep for continuing to year after year pull back the layers of self, this surrendering yourself back and cultivating in the ground that God, in the field that God has given to you. And because of that, so many people's lives are being enriched, so many people's lives is being impacted, the young and the wise. And for that, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep on, what they say, keep on keeping on
I'm gonna
and
keep
running forth with what God has given you. Because, like you just said, I love that quote that I'm getting ready to say Dr. Sandy Johnson, Pastor Sandy Johnson said that what's left unsaid is
is
still
still unsaid.
left unsaid. So what's left undone, y'all, is still left undone. And so it's time for us to turn undone to done. Just do it like Nike said.
Just do it.
Cultivate the vision and build the brand. It's been another Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Come on. The information goes in, it forms the action. The action is the action. What are you going to do with it? Brother gave us a formula: pray, plan, prepare. Let's go. Take it up higher to another level. Your next level is not waiting to your next, but it's what are you going to activate in your now? Ro,
Mhm.
thank you again for tuning in tonight, being our special guest back here at Sister to Sister Talk Power Move. I can't wait to be in the room at the end of this week. Okay,
Wow. Wow.
to really celebrate the vision that God is giving you and the people who I know will be there. Can't wait. Sometimes you all, we have to invest, and a lot of times you got to invest, but say yes to the room because the room can change your life. Y'all, I'll see you Saturday, Dr. E. You know how we do it. Y'all, this has been another Sister to Sister Talk Power Moves. Stay in the flow, fearlessly level up, overcome, and win. All we do is win. I'll see y'all next Monday at 7 p.m. unless God does a shift. But we'll see you, and we're gonna check in and locate you. Are you still winning? Take care, take charge, and God bless.